Well, I'm Freddie. I'm a partner at Snask, and we've been around for 14 years.
Yeah, and I'm Erik, and been running this place with this guy for many years now.
We started at second year in university as an idea where we didn't want to be employed at a big agency, so we thought maybe we can be employed by a small agency, and then we realized why don't we just start our own thing. And people asked us like, well, they told us you need 10 years of experience to start your own agency, and we felt like then we will get someone else's experience and we only want our own. So then we started it out and decided to make all the mistakes ourselves and learn from it, and that way create our own way. And 14 years on, that's...
Snask stood out, and the thought from the beginning was that it would be for eye candy, because Snask in Swedish means candy. But then it has it's like an old word where that has a lot of meanings, like it can be gossip, filth, it's a fun word to use, but the idea was then to have Snask not in Sweden, to be like somewhere else in the world, maybe in London or New York, and then it was more a fun play a word with a Swedish word that meant something, but people would just be like, yeah, it's Snask, that's cool,
I mean, some people in the US, they say, it's such a good name and your word really looks snasky.
Yeah, snasky.
And we're like, what does that mean? They're like, yeah, bold and colorful and like inspiring and unconventional. We're like, that's perfect. And somehow it translates to that in English. We didn't know that. Well, I've never been a musician, I've never been a rock star, so I knew that becoming a graphic designer you would have become a rock star, so I think I headed into it knowing that that would never happen, but Erik is a real rock star.
Yeah, rock star, definitely. No, I don't think there's a moment where you can decide that, and I was never meant to be a rock star, I think, but I mean, music has always been a thing for all of us,
yeah.
I think. But yes, I did play and I still play a bit, but I mean, it's the classic thing. It's very hard to make it in music anyway, so you can have a lot of fun. But then what we discovered early on was that we could incorporate that fun with the work, with the company. So I mean, we showed you before some club posters that we used to have a club in Stockholm and stuff, and that was a part of that. We all used to run clubs before Snask, and we were like, oh, but what do you think is fun in life? And that was one thing, and then we could suddenly start a club night with Snask instead. And it's the same with music in other ways, starting a record label or doing shows with a band, etc. So it's always been we say this thing that Snask is a vehicle to have fun.
Yeah, I think that culturally we always knew that we had to consume culture in order to be somehow relevant in a design and art world, but also contribute and create culture. So I think that's where we started to DJing and booking bands and creating cultural events more to have fun and give and also contribute to society and culture.
I think that's a big reason to even have a company or run a business. I mean, we are very much I would say a bit weird player in our industry, that we ourselves almost sometimes don't know what to, how to brand ourselves in terms of say where to place us on the map of we're a design agency, we do film, or what is it, and but that's a part of the fun and almost a strategy to be free in that way, that we don't want to label ourselves in that way. And I think that's also something that we even have companies to try to have fun and do other things in life, incorporate everything. There's so much conservatives that it's business is supposed to be in this way, and you have to have all these roles and do it in be very professional in the classic way view of it, and we thought hey, we can mix these things and just I think all of us have like there's been more people involved too, and like they're really like in the beginning of Snask, like was very like strong-minded people that want to create some kind of change or some type of do things differently, basically. Everyone probably have different relationships with friends and family and whatever, but it's like especially with family, it's like very like almost too maybe straightforward sometimes, and it's like very honest in what you think about each other or decisions that you make in life, and you express yourself a lot, and I think that's what we mean by that. It's not like to sort of be afraid of talking to clients and saying what you think, and actually that's why they bring you in to do that type of work, and to give your opinion, but then of course like try to also make them understand in the same way. We don't just go in and be like, you're wrong, you shit, it's maybe we did that 10 years ago sometimes, but it was like you should be able to do it in a way that can be convincing and have your argument straight, etc. But the honesty is something that I think
honesty and genuinity, it builds trust.
Yeah.
People will dare to trust you because they know that even if you say something bad, you mean it, and that's more trustworthy than someone who says something and they feel that you don't mean it. And I think that any relationship, this is science, that any relationship will get deeper after the first conflict. It's like you have an argument with a friend you just met a couple of months ago, and after that you will start deepening your relationship. And it's the same thing with clients. When you can be direct, honest, and everyone feel like they can say whatever they feel, then it's much, much better. You get actually a deeper work relationship with the client.
Mm.
Yeah, like Eric said, a lot of the things we did, when we do for our own enjoyment as well and passion. And we came from entertainment, we came from music, we came from design. So that was like the core of Snask, to do beautiful design with humor and also with meaning and intent, not just something that's beautiful, not just something that... So all of those always needed to be in our project as much as possible. And I think that's still what we're doing. Now we call it maybe branding and content producing. So we do brand strategy and design, and then we also do film concepts, still photography, all these things. But it's always the same key things. And we want to speak to emotions rather than talking about a product or a service. We want a brand to speak about something else, something bigger.
I think we always want to add like a little layer of something, and then depending on of course what the output is, if it's like a graphic identity, then maybe it's about the handmade touch or the style of like bringing it out in reality, or it could be the messaging connected to it that is like has a special tonality or yeah, just a message in it. But also like with photography and film and stuff, like so you say, like we like to not make it too perfect, or like it needs to be like something that you react to, something that makes you think a little bit and just like wonder what is this saying, or whatever. And that could be so many things. But I think that's something that we always try to strive to like push that, get that little edge in of some sort,
Mm. To me, Sweden is pretty important. To live in a country that is Sweden, it's very important because, of course, Stockholm and also Sweden is very dark and cold in the winters. Everything dies and people go inside and keep for themselves. And in the summer it just becomes something else, alive and everything is sunny. But I think that Sweden, with a social view and view on equality and all these things, makes it super fine to live with that. If Sweden would have been market driven like the United States, for example, I don't think I would have seen the same benefits of staying here, because of maybe the weather and things like that. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's super important that those things. And then, I mean, of course, we've been doing this for some time now. So I think we've gone through different phases when we were like on our way to New York or on our way to LA or Berlin or something, you know. But then, like you said, we have so many like friends and family and everything here too. And very early on, we like from the beginning, basically, we wanted to not focus on the Swedish market or Sweden. We want to go online and like be something bigger in the world, and that I think that's also a thing. So we never felt like, oh, we're this Stockholm or Sweden like based company in that way. We sort of exist everywhere. So I think that's also made it sort of easier.